heartbeats in hyperdrive.
If you don't get this reference, you're gonna have to go back to 2008 and try your childhood again. How's it going, everybody? It's Bon, and I am back in the new year, 2025. I still can't believe it's already 2025. I don't know how I feel. Old, I guess? With all the craziness happening with Black Ops 6 and Activision and all that, I just kind of wanted to take a step away from all of that, and I don't really feel like reporting on any of that stuff. A lot of people are already doing it anyway, and they are a lot more concise and put in a lot more work and effort into research than I ever do. So if it's something that I'm passionate about, I will speak about it, but for the most part, we'll just keep it at that. So in my time away from Call of Duty, I decided to hop back into Warframe and see what's been going on in there. And yeah, DE fucking cooked.
It's gonna be mine, I want it. If it's gonna be mine, I want it. If it's gonna be mine, I want it. It kills me, it burns. I'm kicking on my dirt. I want it, this burst. Can't shake it, but it hurts. It fills me up, it breaks me down until there's nothing left. I want it, this burst.
Warframe is a perfect example of a game that struggles with its identity, but like in a good way. Every new expansion always seems to bring something wacky and new to the franchise and spice things up a bit. It really shows that DE isn't afraid to mix up the formula from time to time, and Warframe just really likes to explore some very creative themes that you just can't really see anywhere else. I guess that's part of the reason why I always find myself coming back to it. That and my crippling Riven addiction. DE gives us an absolute banger of an expansion with Warframe 1999, and further proves the point that everything is cooler when done on motorcycles. We've seen it in 2008 with Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, playing card games on motorcycles, and now we get to do the same thing while also shooting our AK-47s and exterminating the local people. My feeble human brain can't possibly comprehend everything that's going on in Warframe 1999, so I'm just gonna give you the bare bones synopsis of what I know so far, and we'll go from there. Our search for this dickhead named Albrecht Entrati leads us all the way back in time to the year 1999 in the worn-torn city of Halavania. We encounter a team of prototype Warframe users known as the Hex. They initially treat you as an enemy since apparently the only way to time travel in the Warframe universe is to be birthed from the most suspiciously creepy, infested abomination I've ever seen.
My name is Jeff.
So yeah, if anything came out of that thing, I would also kill it immediately. You somehow gain their trust and assist them with their mission of finding Albrecht Entrati and putting a stop to the nuclear reactor explosion that decimates the entire city. However, Albrecht has other plans, and in order to restore the timeline, I suppose, he's willing to do anything in order to achieve it, which includes sacrificing your newfound companions. You, of course, as the Drifter, reject this plan and strive to find a way to resolve this with the least amount of bloodshed possible, thus trapping you in a time loop where you constantly repeat the year 1999 until you gain enough strength in your bonds with the Hex Crew to eventually find a way to save everyone. I hope I covered a majority of the basics of the story of 1999. That's just kind of how I understood it. And the whole thing just kind of revolves around the Hex Crew. Now, who the heck are the Hex? What's the deal with them? What are they doing? And why are they here? So, to my understanding, the Hex are a group of highly skilled individuals who were sent to Halavania as a sort of relief effort against the Techrot infestation and all the Skaldra that are just raiding about the city. Somehow or in some way, Albrecht Entrati gets a hold of these individuals and turns them into these proto-frames, which are very similar to the Warframes that we see now. The Hex Crew consists of Arthur Nightingale as Excalibur, a strong independent leader of the Hex and somewhat stoic in nature, brooding, but still has a soft spot for his crew, as any good leader should. We have Eleanor Nightingale as Nyx. This is Arthur's sister. She seems fully reliant on Nyx's protosuit's telepathic abilities due to her increased exposure to the infestation or Techrot. Also, she has some wicked tongue action, and she's not afraid to tell you about it. Quincy Isaacs as Site-09, which is a new Warframe introduced in 1999. He is the resident sniper for the crew. Not much else to really say about him. He's similar to Arthur in the way that he's a bit stoic, but he's always straight to the point, and there's really no bullshit ever spoken out of this guy's mouth, so he just comes in clutch. We also have Aoi Morohoshi as Mag, second in command of the Hex Crew. She loves music and will sell a lot of the new Soma chords to you. She is accredited to keeping the team alive quite a bit during their missions and is highly respected because of it. The crowd favorite, Amir Beckett as Volt, probably also my favorite member of the Hex Crew by far. Amir is the comic relief and is exactly what I imagined a human version of Volt would be. Super hyperactive, texts extremely fast, talks extremely fast, and just kind of throws some weird voice lines out there that are just absolute gold.
I'm here to kick bubblegum and shoot ass, and I'm all out of ass. Wait, hold on.
And then finally we have Leticia Garcia, or Letty, as Trinity. And of course, being a Trinity, she's the medic of the team. She also seems to be the team strategist in some areas, and also she's a bit of a sadist, ironically. The Hex Crew is used as the new syndicate in Warframe 1999. Well, you can also increase your standing with the syndicate by completing regular missions like the exterminations, the new Hell Scrub survival, and assassination missions. They also went a different route with the Hex Crew here. You can also increase your standing with the individual members of the Hex Crew and kind of form a deeper bond with them. Each of the previously stated missions are usually tied to one of the Hex members, and after completion of that mission, you will gain extra chemistry towards that character, which will open up new dialogue options and voice lines that you can explore later on. Outside of missions, the main story, and just straight up walking up to the characters to buy something from their stores, a majority of your communication is going to be done through the Palm 2 computer. The Hex Crew uses a instant messaging app called Kim on the Palm 2 computers, which is modeled after Windows 1999, it looks like. Really cool little connection there. Anyway, the Kim group chat is where the meat and potatoes of the whole dating simulator part of 1999 takes place. Depending on the responses that you choose with the certain individuals or with the Hex Crew in general, you can increase your standing with everybody and unlock some other voice lines and other text messages as well. And yes, of course, you can romance a lot of the character. Yeah, you can romance every character, I'm pretty sure, to get some little extra spicy dialogue if you're into that stuff. I personally don't really care much for it, but if you do, more power to you, it's definitely there. Remember the tongue stuff? You should definitely ask Eleanor more about that. I don't think we've ever really seen that in Warframe before, to where we can have a specific relationship with a specific character, get to know them a little bit more, and it really just kind of drew me even further into 1999's story, and actually made me give a damn about the characters. It's like the sacrifice all over again. Ever since Duviri, I've just been more enthralled in Warframe than I have ever been before, and just goes to show that, yeah, this direction that they're taking Warframe in is really working. I think that pretty much sums up the story and characters of 1999, but what else does it have to offer? Like, what is the actual new content that we get? And like I had stated before with Quincy, we do see a new Warframe, and that Warframe is Site-09. This is a sniper-based Warframe, and I gotta be honest, at first I was really concerned about this. Having a sniper-based Warframe does not sound fun at all. It actually sounds very frustrating, especially considering that the meta in Warframe has always been, well, as far as I know, has always been like AoE and status based. Let's just kind of go into a breakdown of his abilities and things will start to make more sense from there. Site-09 is basically every Call of Duty cheater's wet dream. He has wall hacks, his exalted weapon ricochets off of multiple targets, and he's an absolute crit machine. I mean, he has all sorts of things that point him towards crit, and right out of the box, I think he has the capacity to red crit. It's just insane the amount of damage that he can just pull out of nowhere just by activating his exalted weapon. His passive ability gives you 1% extra critical chance after every weak point kill, and that stacks up to 300% and remains for the entire duration of the current mission, which is absolutely insane once we get into his other abilities. His first ability is called Seek, and this is his quote-unquote wall hacks ability. It does so much for his kit. Okay, so the first thing is he plants down an antenna. That antenna shoots out like a cone wave that will detect enemy weak points and make those enemies more susceptible to weak point damage, and that's dependent on your power strength, I believe. So this antenna not only does that, but it also grants you the ability to put punch through on basically any weapon that you currently have. And this duration is the same duration for Seek itself. I currently have mine at like 50 seconds or something like that. It's not too high, but the amount of weak point damage you get out of it is at 219% with my current strength, which is insane. And I also put into range as well, and my punch through is at 17.5 meters, which I'm pretty sure clears a majority of map sizes in the entire game. So you can pretty much find a comfortable spot, slam down your antenna, and you'll be able to use any weapon to just snipe through basically the entire map. I wasn't kidding when I said that this was every Call of Duty cheater's wet dream. I mean, this first ability, it's pretty damn good, but it's only the first ability. There's more. His second ability is called Resupply, and it basically brings up a elemental menu kinda similar to how Lavos does his stuff, and you're able to just select any damage type available to you and throw down an ammo pack that will give you and your allies that elemental damage. So it gives you a certain percentage of extra damage depending on your power strength, of course, and then also being Site-09 a sniper frame, it will give you additional sniper damage as well. So of course they want you to pair this up with sniper rifles or his exalted weapon. It also refills the current magazine that you have. So if you have a weapon that has a low magazine quantity or something like that, you can always throw down one of these packs if you have the energy to instantly reload your weapon and skip any reload animations. His third ability, Evade, is probably one of the most broken, invisible abilities I've ever seen on a Warframe. So basically, Evade, it makes Site-09 jump backwards and become invisible for a short amount of time, and this time frame is entirely dependent on the amount of weak point kills you get. So every single time you get a weak point kill, it extends the duration of this ability, and it also heals him. A Warframe that is completely dedicated to getting critical hits and has a lot in his kit to incentivize that gets rewarded with more invisibility every single time it does what it's designed to do, which is get critical kills. It's that simple. Like, the cycle is that simple. He makes it super easy to know where your critical hits are, and he gives you all the tools you need in order to succeed right off the bat. Super simple frame, but a lot of fun to play. And now we finally get into his fourth ability, which is his exalted weapon, Neutralize. So Neutralize is his big old beefy sniper rifle. The bullets to this sniper rifle ricochet off of the weak points and seek out other enemies' weak points nearby, and it also comes with an alt fire which freezes enemies in their place, making it a lot easier to hit those critical hits. This exalted weapon hits like an absolute freaking dump truck. I mean, right off the bat, you're hitting like hundreds of thousands, then once you've mod it and everything, you're hitting like millions of red crits just out of nowhere. Millions of damage just for hitting somebody in the head because it was highlighted deep purple. It's insane. It's insane. Site 09 is the basic definition of a glass cannon, and I absolutely love that about him. I don't really see much build diversity coming from him because he's just so obsessively built around crit. That might be a downside to him, but I've been having a lot of fun with him, and I think he's a great addition to the roster, especially for those who need a little bit more oomph, a little bit more power in their Warframe, but don't have the necessary resources in order to put in a lot of effort into other builds. He's just kind of like this right off the bat. The only thing you really have to look for is definitely some vitality mods and beefing up his defense, because oh my, one status proc and you're gone. And of course, what I think is the coolest new feature in Warframe is the introduction of the Atomicycle. I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. $20 have never left my pocket faster than when I went to the back rooms and customized my Atomicycle. I seen the entire catalog for every single design of Kawasaki Ninja you can possibly get in this game and immediately bought it. I mean, it was no hesitation. You put motorcycles in one of my favorite games, and you bet your ass you're gonna get that money right out of my pocket. You might as well just reach in there and take it yourself. Especially considering that you can take this Atomicycle literally anywhere. And that's not actually intended. So, the Atomicycle was only supposed to be able to be deployed in the new Holovania missions. Of course, new map, new open area. You got a new mode of transportation. We've seen it with the K-drives, we've seen it with, arc wings, so on and so forth. And it eventually bled into other areas of the game. No, the Atomicycle has this weird glitch to where you can take it into your regular missions. So you can whip out your Atomicycle when you're on Hydron. Definitely not intended. Also, you do not get to carry over your customizations over into those maps purely because it wasn't intended. But I think I do see DE just implementing it in there anyways, just because of the fun factor. They could have very easily patched this glitch, but they're like, nah, keep it in. Let them enjoy it. And thank you. Any Warframe update would be incomplete without having some new things to grind for. And of course, this update brings us a couple new weapons to take a look at, a couple new arcanes, and some really cool artwork that is very fitting for the theme. If you're looking to try out some of the new weapons this update brings, Amir is the guy to talk to. He will be the one that's selling the new Site 09 blueprints and the new weapons as well. The AX-52, which is obviously the AK-47, but kind of futurized, I guess you can say. This weapon is based off of crit. While aiming down the sights of this weapon, headshots have an additional critical hit chance, and when you're hip firing the weapon, you have some ammo efficiency, so it's good for spraying, conserving ammo, but it also hits harder than a normal rifle would when you get headshots with it. It's pretty decent to use. I mean, heck, it's an AK-47, man, like, who wouldn't at least try this at least once or twice? The next weapon is a secondary pistol called the Vesper 77. Now, I actually haven't gotten to try this pistol out, but I've seen some pretty cool stuff, pretty cool builds that you can do with it. Anyway, this pistol is silenced and also comes with a laser sight that highlights enemy weak points. So whenever you shoot those weak points, it gains additional critical damage multiplier. So again, based off of crit, and I've seen this thing hit pretty damn hard. Not as hard as regular AoE weapons do with status builds, but, you can definitely try it out. It looks like a fun weapon to play around with, and I'm definitely going to be picking it up here in the future just to try it out. And the last weapon is Site 09's signature rifle, the Reconiflex. This weapon has a timed precision reload, and whenever you hit that timing, it gains increased reload speed and infuses heat damage into the magazine. Now, I'm not sure if this can mix with other elements if you mod for it, so if you wanted to put blast on there, or if you want to put viral and then also additional heat. I'm not entirely sure if that mixes together quite how I think it does in my head, but if it does, pretty damn good weapon, and even the heat damage alone is decent too. So definitely another one that I'm going to check out and just try it on Site 09 just to see if it does complement his skill set well. These weapons have some neat little gimmicks to them that kind of make them stand apart from the rest of the pack. Warframe has a lot of weapons, and some of them might do the same things that these guys do, but I think just aesthetically, they look really cool. To check out some of the new arcanes that are available in this update, go on over to Eleanor. She will set you up with some pretty broken stuff. There are 3 new weapon arcanes available, 1 primary, 1 melee, and 1 secondary, and they all revolve around weak point hits and weak point kills. Definitely check them out if you want to beef up your Site 09 build. There are also 5 new Warframe arcanes that are now available, and all of these have different varying effects that are really cool, but there's one in particular that I have my eyes on. Arcane Crepuscular gives you additional ability strength and also gives you additional final critical multiplier while invisible. Perfect for Site 09 or literally any frame that goes invisible and needs to hit really freaking hard. Overall, I think it's a really cool selection of new arcanes that we got here. I do smell a smidge of power creep with these coming in, especially for any, crit builds out there. And I think there's one that just gives maximum viral stacks, kind of insane. Just some new fun toys to play with. Amir and Quincy also sell some cool pixelated glyphs in their stores. Quincy has pixelated portraits of all the members of the Hex Crew, so you can definitely get those and make those your profile pic if you want. And Amir sells some pixel artwork and other artwork from his favorite game, Caliber Chicks 2, which is a really cool little world building aspect. I mean, we know Amir is a nerd. Just a couple really small aspects that really push forward the whole retro aspect that 1999 is going for. And speaking of that retro aspect, I think the biggest contributor to that feeling that this whole expansion has is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal in this game, and you've been hearing a lot of it throughout this video. The background music just gives this awesome, cool, and calm serenity when you're standing in the middle of the Holovania Mall, and then also the action sequences have a little bit of techno in there to kind of remind you like this is the early 2000s. It just culminates into this awesome atmosphere. And then we get into the actual featured songs this expansion brings, and my god, they are pretty good. So DE entirely fabricated this boy band called Online, and I think they created 2 songs from them that play periodically, and then we also have like melodies for background music of those 2 songs. But just have a listen. It's wild. Now, on your first listen, it might not seem like it's all too good, but trust me, when you're playing through 1999 and you get to the end screen, you'll be remembering the song. This song will be stuck in your head. It is catchy as fuck! And if you're like me and you're craving for more, head over to Aoi. She has everything you need. You can buy every single soundtrack that you heard while playing through the campaign, and also through any trailers or anything from her, and my god, it's fantastic. Ugh, okay. I think we finally got through everything that 1999 has to offer. That took a while, but I feel it was necessary just to go through all of that anyway, and I did sprinkle in a little bit of my opinion throughout. Of course, with this being such a glowing review so far, obviously I liked it. I really did enjoy Warframe 1999. Now, normally I don't like to start with the dislikes, but in this case, I just spent the last 20 minutes gushing over how much I like this game, so let's just get into the dislikes. Spoiler warning for the dislike segment, I will be talking about the ending of Warframe 1999, so if you haven't gotten to the good ending or the final ending yet, I would highly suggest playing through that first and then coming back to this video. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out things that I don't like about this new update, but I did come up with a couple of nitpicking things. The first thing would be the whole dating simulator portion of 1999. Now, like I said before, this really isn't my cup of tea. I just think the whole dating thing in video games, it's just weird, man. It's just weird to me. Like, I wouldn't want to waste all of my Riz energy trying to get an NPC to send me a couple extra heart emojis in my next conversation with them, you know? I'd rather be out there grinding weapons and credits, if you know what I mean.
You, me, tonight. Read me?
Oh, it's been like 2 seconds. The second thing would probably be the mission bounties. Now, the Exterminate, Hellscrub Survival, all the new missions and stuff usually come with a side bounty that you can complete for extra rewards, so on and so forth. We've seen that before, but in this case, they are sometimes mandatory, and there were a couple on launch that didn't really work as intended. One specifically was the get 10 kills while on high ground, and no matter how high I was, if I was standing on top of a freaking building shooting down at the enemies, it would not count towards that kill count. And with some of them being mandatory in some missions, I believe the Hellscrub Survival, it is mandatory in order to complete it, I was just pretty much stuck in there the whole time and couldn't really do anything, and that was kind of frustrating too, because I went in there for like a long-term survival to come out with a whole bunch of rewards and never was able to get it because I couldn't complete the mission. So that is something that I didn't like. I'm pretty sure it's fixed now though with the new update. I think I got some footage of it. I'll put it on screen now. It's just something that I found frustrating and annoying. And the last thing would be the ending to Warframe 1999's main story. So once you finally get to a like standing with everybody in the Hex crew, you then go back to the Zeramin, where the Indifference is basically trying to trick you into thinking that everything is just worthless, that they're gonna die anyway, so what's the use in saving them? And you're going around seeing their psychological trauma and everything and kind of pulling them out of the physical and emotional gunk that they're in. And because your bonds are so much stronger, you're actually able to reach out to them in that time of need to give them some words of reassurance. But to me, it kind of came off as just the Drifter telling them like, hey bro, I know you're going through a phase right now, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but like, just chill bro, chill out, figure it out, man. And then they just figure it out, like they just do it. And that's it. There's nothing else to overcome. It's just they had the answers right there in front of them and never once thought to use it. And mind you that they're constantly stuck in an eternal time loop to where they just constantly repeat the year 1999 until Y2K, the final D-Day, and never once have they thought to even try something different, even if they're not cognizant of it. You as a Drifter are. So like, instead of building strong bonds with the Hex crew for an entire year and getting to know them, why didn't he share some of his knowledge on like how to use Warframes? Because that seems to be the main gist that's going on. Like, if Aoi knew how much power Mag can output, then holding down the nuclear reactor and plugging it back into place wouldn't have been much of an issue for her. The same thing could go for Amir too. I mean, yeah, he had a panic attack and everything, and he would need someone to help him get through that, but I feel like he would be in a much, much better state of mind if the Drifter would have told him about the Parazon to begin with, that he could just literally instantly hack a majority of everything just by stabbing it. It's kind of a duh, no shit moment for everyone who's played Warframe for the past couple of years. I just couldn't help but laugh when those points came up. I'm just like, really? Like, no one thought to tell them that they could do this? And I feel like this was a portion where, like, yeah, it's supposed to get better here. Things are supposed to be good. This is the good ending and all that. But it was just like comically a ba-duh moment. Now, the whole cryptic message thing kind of makes a little bit more sense when you start to look at Eleanor and Quincy. I mean, with Eleanor, she had whatever brain rot thing was taking over her mind and making her become a part of the infected army, and that makes a whole lot of sense to kind of snap her out of that and give her a cryptic message to figure it out on her own. That makes sense. And then Quincy, he got surprised by this tank that seemingly just popped in out of nowhere, and, you know, having the Drifter basically say, hey, do you see that? And then reminding him that he can shoot through pretty much everything in the godforsaken map because he has 17.5 meters of punch through. Again, it's like another duh, of course moment, but yeah, it just kind of seemed like it was executed as in more of like a comedic sense than really anything else, especially since like the somber tone that the rest of 1999 had. It just threw me off a little bit towards the end there, and it could have entirely been intentional just to have a little bit more of a lighthearted ending. I certainly wasn't prepared for that kind of comedic twist, but it's DE and Warframe that we're talking about. They can come up with some crazy and wild stuff and somehow pull it off spectacularly, and Warframe 1999 is definitely no exception to this. Now, to quickly wrap things up in this video, let's just get to some of the things that I really liked about 1999 that kind of stood above the rest, and of course I've already talked about it previously when going through what all 1999 has to offer. Number 1, of course, motorcycles. The Atomicycles are badass. I did not expect them to be in the game, and they are here, and I absolutely adore it. I will never pull out a K-Drive ever again. Number 2, the music. The music is absolutely phenomenal, and as far as I can see, we're only gonna get more of that in future 1999 Warframe updates, and I'm all down for it, man. The moment I got done playing through 1999, I immediately went to my YouTube music playlist and started queuing up these banger songs, and they are stuck in my head, I tell you what. The music just fits so well in the time frame and the whole theme of Warframe 1999, which brings me to my last point here. The third thing I liked was the theme. I'm just a sucker for retro shit, dude. Let's be honest here. I love and completely dig the whole pixel art, the whole Windows 1999 interface and all that, the techno music, all that stuff, dude. It just fits together so well and gives you a really good depiction of the time frame while also still having the whole Warframe futuristic aspect. I think it's done very well to a T, and the environment of Holovania has got to be one of the most beautiful and memorable places that have been brought to Warframe. With the seasons changing as you progress through the year, so does the map, and we get all sorts of different, almost seemingly like different types of maps. It looks completely different in the summer than it does in the winter and in the time in between, and that is just a little thing that I appreciate greatly. I highly recommend anyone who hasn't played Warframe 1999 to go ahead and jump in. You will absolutely love the experience. I did, I know I did, and I cannot wait for more. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to me today. It really does mean a lot. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit like, and if you like my content, go ahead and subscribe for more. I really do enjoy making videos like these because it gives me the free reins to talk for half an hour about something that I like without somebody blowing me off and telling me to shut up. This video took me an unnecessarily long amount of time in order to get out there, and it's not because of the editing process or anything, it's just the time that I have on my hands. Hopefully I'll be able to allocate more time to the channel as things start to slow down for me here. But I'm still here, I'm still kicking. It's just gonna take me a hot minute here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.